So my name is Anna Clark. Um, my Facebook is www.facebook.com/Apostle Anna Clark. All I did was write a few articles today. I want to say a few, but really I wrote a lot of articles. A lot of times I write on my Facebook because it's most easiest with the inbox there. So if you want to contact me, you can contact me through there, friend request first, and then inbox me, and for sure I will see your message. Um, I'm not of the old order. I'm not of old rigid rules. I came from a strict place, and you brought me to a broad place. And so anyway, I've come for a remnant, really. And anybody who wants to grow in Him, anybody who wants to grow in Him. I don't want to say I'm not evangelical as far as getting people to come to Him like originally, like getting people saved. That you can do, but I know who I come for. I really come for those that want to go deeper in the Lord, and as I go deeper, so I write a lot of times early in the morning, depending on the assignments that God has me on. And so I'll write different things that He's shown me, different things He's walking the body through, or even a remnant through, that are not of the old order, that are being brought even out of an old order, an old religious system, old pattern, even the patterns and traditions and the cycles of your family. You might be the one to break some things because you're going to see things differently, or so anyway, I come for those that just want to follow the Spirit of God. And the way He leads me is not in traditional ways. The way He leads me, I just do what He says. And I don't depend on rules. I don't depend on the church system. I don't depend even on the Word. I hear Him, who is the Word. He's trained me to move by Him. I'm not trained by my family. People are mad because they couldn't control or make me. I had to always learn and explore and just find things by Him. And I'm not made by any collective. I'm not made by any discipleship system but Him. And maybe even I get to find some treasures in the body of Christ who are people that are like treasure boxes that just flow straight wisdom out in another level. And they're aware to the multidimensional. And that's how I move. I don't pride myself by rules. He's taught me. You can hear someone cutting grass outside. I will probably close my window. So I can record. Okay, I had to close my window because I'm not sure if they're starting a motorcycle or if they're gonna mow their lawn. But I don't want that to take over the whole recording. So I'm gonna read. I think what would be most beneficial of my post may be something that's a little bit different from what I usually may post. I don't know if it's repetitive. It's okay. It's a good thing. If you've heard something like this before from my channel, if not, enjoy. Anyway, welcome to my channel. I wrote this morning, I don't know why, but I keep feeling like, why do I have to write about the remnant? Why do I have to write about this remnant? Which is really like, it almost feels old fashioned to say there's a new remnant. It almost feels old fashioned, like old, like played out, like old, like it's been repeated before so much. But, I know that there's a people that He's leading just like me, just by His Spirit. And He's not even going to let you who He even has maybe walked through very strict times before in systems and places and even churches, in a lifestyle maybe too, that now He's like, now it's time. See, when it's time for you to, not be so conservative in some ways, maybe like cash wise, He's bringing you out to a broad place. He's bringing you into your money, into your work, your job, your service, your business, your entrepreneurship. When it's time, for love, it's not time anymore to be so to yourself and have certain walls of protection up and be very guarded and be maybe distant and stand off. But now it's time to open your arms and accept it. And he will bring you to it when he has the person who is perfectly imperfect for you. And he's bringing you into a broad place. And when it's time, see, and so you have to learn by following the Spirit, right? In your own journey, that it's not always time to refrain. It's not always time to be distant. It's not always time to say no. It's not always time to push something away. It's not always time to have a guard up. You might have a guard up when he's bringing the right person. You might have you might have the wrong mentality when he's trying to bring you a certain job. You might think, no, he's not giving me that. He's going to give me this grand, big, great vision. And maybe he wants you to serve on someone else's team first. So if we have the wrong mindset, we might miss our doors. We might miss our relationships. We might miss our time and our appointment. We might miss things. But anyway, if you follow the Spirit, you're going to show up and you're going to be there and you're going to receive it, or you're going to give what you need to give and you're going to get it, and you're going to get it on time. So, but that's not even what I wrote. I just want to read about the remnant. I said a remnant, he's made to test even limits strategically. So in this time, you might find the Lord leading you to test limits, not you going to a place and breaking the rules and just being rude and all of that. Not you just standing up in a place and oppose, the way they run things. It's not going to be like that. It's always going to be strategic. Wisdom's going to back it. A peace is going to come with you, or even a fire from him is going to fuel you to release what he's giving you to release, or do what he's giving you to do. Even a heavenly fire was like in Jesus when he flipped the table. So maybe he wants you to flip something that's been upholding something that he doesn't want men to partake of and men to be a part of, and whatever like that. So sometimes a remnant is like that. Usually he'll train you to be able to oppose and say what the Lord's saying. Usually he'll train you in those types of things. And then he'll train you where he leads you really gently and into some nice, fluffy, great, glittery things. And you don't have to push back anything or anybody with even messages from the Lord or anything. And you just get to follow. And sometimes he'll train you to just take your stand and have a boundary. When people have been doing things for a long time a certain way, and then he'll train you to just break the rules, just in a not rude way, but in a way that he shows you to do. Sometimes he'll just train you to not sit up under the control of old pharaohs or leaders who don't know their time is up to lead you, and they don't know how to loose control. They're in denial. So what he'll do is make you buck their system, or he'll make you buck them, or he'll remove you from their grip. He won't even let that which was a source or was helping control or give to you, because even their gifts can be tainted. When he's taking you a certain way, he's trying to unlatch you from every control and have you oppose if he needs you to, or have you uplift and build if he needs you to. And so you'll learn all these ways that he may push or pull you and lead you or guide you, and you'll become okay with others' opinions, and you'll become okay with standing alone, and you'll become okay. And it's this kind of person that he can trust to start something new or do something different, because you already know how it is to stand by yourself with the Lord. When the Lord tells you to do something and other people are calling you names for it, or they don't understand, or they disrespect you for it, or they oppose you, you're okay, because you know where you stand, because you went back and you heard from the Lord. Because this kind of person he can trust. Many can be trusted with a job under somebody else. Okay, yeah, you're trusted just as long as you do that job, and they don't care about your character too much as long as you just do the job. They don't care about your private life too much as long as you do the job. But then it takes a different kind of person that he can trust to do certain things or to start something different or new. It takes somebody that would be okay already to not fit the mold, to not fit the hole, the square hole, the star hole, the the peg. You're like you don't fit in this thing because you weren't made by man. You're crafted with different kind of grooves, and you're crafted to flow a different way. So you can't just be jammed in any box or anything like that, because you are what he's made you. And you can't really apologize, though sometimes you're like, you know, you may have wanted to, but when he gets you to a place where you're just okay, and you're like, this is just how it is. He's done this with me so many times where I'm just not of what others think that I need to be. Or they said a Christian's supposed to only do like this, or can only do this, or can only go this way or that. But when he's leading you, he's not going to lead you in a destructive way. But it will look like to them that it doesn't make sense because they didn't get to validate it. So anyway, I come for that kind of people. I come for that kind of people. It's not a rebel without a cause. It's a rebel with a cause. It's not someone that just wants to buck things because they have a defiancy within them and they don't like an order, or they don't like what's right. It's not somebody that just wants to do their own thing or has no it's not for somebody who has their own agenda. I'm talking and I'm trying to reach to certain kind of people. It's a clue that you follow his spirit, that you are a remnant. A remnant will really follow his spirit. It's not that a remnant always go to church, read their Bible every single day. No, a remnant, maybe he pulls them from a system so no one can make them and no one can take the credit. And he teaches you more in a day, in 30 minutes, than you can learn at a church of man a whole year or for 50 years. Because he's going to take you to a level that's going to make you move like a mystic. But yet he's going to train you to have a balance and be able to also move in the practical on this earth, because you came here for something. And it's not just to be drunk on the wine of God on the floor. Yet there is something to be said about the joy of the Lord. You must have it. And a remnant would be identified with having this. They can have it, but he's going to make you lose your religion, lose your old ways of performing some things, and enter you more into the rest. And from the place of rest, you can move in the way and the function and the capacity that he needs for you to move in. And it doesn't always look religious. It doesn't always look real strict. It doesn't look like chaos, but it doesn't look the way that we've been taught. If you can listen to him, he can take you a way that you've never went before, and you don't know what it's going to look like, but you just know step by step you follow his step, because your steps are ordered. A righteous man's steps are ordered. So if a righteous man's steps are ordered and he tells you to go with this person and be in a relationship with them, and he gives you, you know, all access, and then you're not wrong. You're still righteous in his eyes because you move by the Spirit of God and you're still anointed. He's not going to tell you to do drugs. He's not going to tell you to pick up all these things that are going to destroy you. But there's a remnant, I'm telling you, that's here. And I don't know if that's you, but if it's you, you'll know that you're different, and not because you're just wanting to be defiant, but you're different because there's a difference in you, and because you're meant to do something, no matter the warfare that comes against you as you try to go forward to do it, no matter the haters and the duplicators that try to come against you or walk with you or copy you as you try to go forward to your destiny. You're going to know if you're different. This difference you can only get from God. This difference for the future you can only get from God. This difference for the future builders and for those that are builders of the future, you cannot get this from man. You can only get this from God. This is why even if he tells you to go through a school system, you're like, this stuff is all old and it feels like it's all played out and they already did it this way. But I have a new invention. I have a new solution. Then you are a part of a movement that he's trying to, I want to say an agenda. I just heard the word agenda. Like an agenda could be good, like you are part of an agenda. You're part of a movement, and he said it's colossal. I just heard the word colossal. And he wants to use you who learn how to follow him, not be prided by rules, and not need the validation of man, and can also oppose or can build up a people. Can you oppose when he says, can you build up a people? See, there's a balance. A lot of prophets, they stay in a judgment mode. They know the power of their mouth. They have an anointing to shut something. And they have, sorry, my phone's dinging. Let me make that not do that again. And so there's a people, anyway, that can follow the Spirit. I'm going to read. It says, a remnant. He's made to test even limits strategically and find he's always and still with them. They are already here. These people are already here. They could be any age. They could be the children being wiser than people that are, 20, 30 years, they're senior, whatever. This isn't fitting. These are not made by any rules, and they're still anointed. This isn't fitting this or that. And they know the sound of his voice and the ways of his communications. He even has them free enough to even know club songs. He's unlimited, not containable. He's teaching some of you to live free like a Solomon, but you won't bow to anyone's idols. You will oh my God, that's so packed with wisdom right there. Free like a Solomon, but not bowing to anybody's idols, because he might join you to some who are worshiping something else. But you're going to be free enough to be by them and love them and be touched by their infirmities and not fear to be touched by their infirmities and their inability to handle so much of God like you may have. They may not be where you are at all. They may not know him, but you're going to be free like a Solomon. See, Solomon was so free. He was like, I gave my heart to this, I gave my heart to that. But ultimately, you should fear God, love God, obey him, and he's like, enjoy the work of your hand. And he had this freedom that the American church system may not understand. And so they may, with the religious spirit, speak against your freedom, which is like a bewitchment that holds you in bounds and binds you. And the thing is, that's okay, because if that's where you're at, then he may walk you through a strict place like that. Like he's walked me through a strict place when he wanted to bring me into a strict consecration. And I was so strict, oh my gosh, it repelled anybody that was not following his voice. They were saved, but they didn't know his voice. They didn't understand the path he's taken me on. He was taking me into leadership and leaders of leaders. So he could not have me remain on the same path that, which is funny that now if I see them like 20, 30 years later, they still live in self-life ruling. They still rule their self-life, and they don't really know his voice fully, because that's just for them. But I'm gifted different. So your gifts are going to also make you know what you need to do and what you need to not do. And it's going to give you a passion, and it's going to give you a full fuel to go to a different level or different growth in different areas than some of the other people that will be able to be common. He's not going to make all of you common. He's not going to make all of you like the sons of men. See, Enoch would minister to the Lord in his house and only leave on assignment to go speak to the sons of men. I know you're birthed through somebody. You got a mom, you got a dad somewhere, you got a family, you got blood relatives. But really, Jesus said, who is my mother? But the one who does the will of the Father. But everybody is birthed through a family. But maybe you're going to know that you're part of the remnant when God won't even let you conform to the images of your family, the rules of your family. And they may fight you. If they're really ill in their head, they may fight you to control your life. They may fight you to keep in your life when God's trying to separate you. He'll even put a sword on a house and separate a wife and a husband, especially when it's destructive, or when one is really meant to go higher heights, but somebody's not worth taking with them. He will tell you to cancel out those documents that bind you to somebody that is squandering the life out of you, and is not going to and maybe if you get to where you're supposed to get and you get all you're supposed to get, they're going to sabotage it or take it because they should not be running with you at the level you're about to run. But anyway, so, when you're remnant, or when you're someone that follows the Spirit of God and He's training you to unlearn all the ways that you've been taught, even in past times and past, sort of dispensations or whatever, past ways that He's had you to walk in, past seasons and past boxes He may have made you sit in, and past chairs that He may have made you sit at. And when He's walking you through these things, even as a remnant, you have to unlearn. You can't really fully park in any rule that He's given you forever. You have to be ready to let it go. A remnant can keep letting it go. A person that can follow the Spirit can keep letting it go and move with the next flow. So, last season it would have been wrong if with so-and-so you did what you're doing with so-and-so with somebody else now, because that person was not who God sent into you. This is the thing about what the kingdom's going to be like. It's not going to be where people are prided on rules, validation, collectives, ordinations, paperwork so much. It's not going to be, you follow this rule, I got married to him and now I can kiss him. It's not going to be all this being prided by these things and by people being over you or pushing or pulling you. It's going to be by you being led of the Spirit. And as you're ready, He will remove the scaffolding. As you're ready, He's going to take your big baby ass out the crib, because now you're ready to walk in a different dispensation, ready to walk in another level. You don't want to be that generation that just parked on one thing and then you die out and you just never could let Him take you deeper. I do ask Him why some people won't go deeper. He's like, some don't want to, and some I just cover stuff from. So, but I'm like, Lord, why don't some people hear you? Well, some people I'm just covering things from them. And you know what? It's probably because they also won't let go of certain things in their life. So if you won't let go of even what He's trying to give to you, when He's trying to make sure you don't want that more than Him, then you're not worthy of going deeper. So anyway, I didn't even read what I wrote. So, this remnant, and let me see, they're not made by rules. They're still anointed, though they may have been through very strict seasons for years. And then the Lord's like, now you can do this and go this much and do this much and go this far, and this is what you can do, and you're going to be under my covering, or you're going to be within the grounds that I'm giving to you, the territory. He's going to bring a lot of you that want Him above everything and even want Him above your promise. You have to want Him above your promise, and then He can bring you into a broad place. A lot of people, it seems like they have everything and everything's working for their life and it looks like they're living it up, and you're like, why do I feel held back? It might be because He's trying to enrich you within before He gives you everything on the outside. And that mate too. Maybe you've been single, but you've been trained in ministry privately with the Lord, like Moses in the back lot, and He's training you. But it's like, how come I don't have all these other things? This one area of my life is flourishing, the spiritual area, but I look barren in all these other areas. Let me tell you, it will come to life in the appointed time. All things He will make beautiful in His time. He will make all things beautiful in His time. And you can't be stuck on the past, and you can't be fighting His will for you now. So anyway, a remnant will be able to keep deciding that they're going to follow Him, even when He's taken them away from who they love, what they love, and even what they gave them in past seasons. Some people and some privileges and some things are going to come back to you in just a little bit. So you have to leave them for a time. And this is how He does with us. Like, He'll give and He takes away. He'll give and He takes away. So if you can follow that and continue to, and yet keep growing in leaps and bounds in uncommon wisdom, spiritual wisdom, supernatural wisdom, then He can trust you. And that is a mark of a remnant. And they know that they are not defiled and messed up, and just wrecked and unusable by the Lord if they hear a love song. Like, my gosh, He made love songs. I mean, he made the one who made some love songs, and that was a Song of Solomon. So anyway, he's teaching some of you to live free like a Solomon, but you won't bow to anyone's idols. You will build by his designs. You know the wine, you know the joy of the Lord, but you won't waste your life on the floor just unproductive. You know, he wants a ROI. And when I say that, sometimes it makes people laugh that he wants a return on his investment, ROI. And he does. I mean, it's in your book. He wants that. But I'm not saying it with a religious spirit, as in he wants a ROI. You have to be in performance all the time and always doing something. No, sometimes he has us in rest and he lays us in a green pasture and he says, don't move anything. I'm going to provide everything for you. There's times when he does that, and you have to be able to follow that and not get the freak out moment because you don't know where your money's coming from, because he knows how to wipe a bill away. He knows how to wipe tears away in your time of harvest, and that's how he's going to do it. And he knows how to wipe your bills away. So, but you know, you don't want to be the one that, okay, you got the revelation of the joy of heaven and the wine, but then you're unproductive. No, at some point, what are you going to do for him? What is your life here for? What are you here for? What are your giftings? So there's a balance. There's extremes that the Lord showed me in the body of Christ, and then there's a balance. And he shows me how we get a balance, and he shows me how we get to rest and how we have a rest, even when he's stopping us from working or doing ministry or stop something or kill something totally, or when he's saying, okay, don't work, don't move things, or when he's saying, I want you to do this work, you know, you really got to learn how to follow the Spirit so that you can know what time it is and you can have a balance, because a false balance is an abomination. So you don't want to be on the extreme of like, I know the joy of the Lord, I got the joy of the Lord, but then you're totally unproductive in the time when he wants you to be productive joyfully. So, you know, you have to discern when he wants you to move like the ant that stores up and when he wants you to kick back in that harvest. There are ministers that need to know how to kick back in the time of harvest. You worked for so many months, and then your refund time comes, and some of you on a refund time should be taking a big rest. I mean, you have the money to sustain you for months, even for a month or two of taking time off. You know, some of you, he doesn't want you working under someone else because then they own your life. They own your time, and you're going to wrinkle faster, because they're pulling on your energy, and that's why that happens. So anyway, some of you are going to be free like a Solomon. You won't bow to idols. You will build his designs. You know the wine, but won't waste your life on the floor, just drunk on him. If he's set in a vision inside of you, and even a good God-given frustration for a needed community solution, you won't be one that's just going to be kicking back on the wine of God. You're going to say, I'm joyful, but how am I helping these people that are in pain? Like, how do you have the wine of God and then lose your mind and then lose the compassion for the community that is broken? Like, I don't get that. So there needs to be a balance, because those that found the wine are like, wait, you're trying to tell me that I have to do all this stuff for performance? And I'm saying, no, you got to get this balance. Can you hear when he's saying, have the wine of God? He's given it to you as a gift. But now you're a solution to something here. You have to find out what your purpose is in the mantles, in the assignments that he has for you. And sometimes it is to just walk with someone quietly and they get healed of addictions that no system could deliver them from any other time years past. But you came along and all of a sudden they have a grace to do it and they don't even know the Lord. How about that? So the wine of God in you, the presence of God in you, the rest of God in you, the joy of God in you, the power of God in you doesn't always need a voice. It just is his presence as you just be by some people. So I got that balance and that's what he wants us to get to. No doubt I'm always learning. Always. Anyway, so some of you Solomons will build by his designs, the visions, and help the community. You're not going to waste your life. A remnant. This is a remnant. Who is that will follow the Spirit? You won't get caught up in religion. And I mean a pride for fitting rules in place of knowing the audible voice of God. You may not have verses. You may not have verses word for word, but know the word himself, for he is the word, and you know his voice, and he's always talking. Do you get up in the morning and listen to what the Lord's saying? Not people's opinions, not self-condemnation, not guilt, not what happened yesterday or what they said or what they didn't do or what they won't do or what they didn't do enough of, and not all that, but do you get up and hear him? So what's going to happen is, as you do, you find that he's always talking. The frames, the scaffolding, the boxes, the collectives, the churches, the organizations, even some people, some leaders, some rules, perceived limits that you prided yourself by. Like, he's going to remove you from these things as you're able to walk on your own in another degree of maturity as a son or daughter of God. These things will be burning up. He said it's going to pass away. The earth is said in Ecclesiastes to always be. But he did say in the New Testament that the world will burn up and pass away. The world is a way of thinking, mindsets, cycles, ways of being, ways of teaching, passed down mindsets and agendas of man. Like, these things burn up. He's not going to take all the stores out of the earth, all the ministry meetings out of the earth. He's not going to take all and shut all that down. He's going to bring a change through you. So anyway, it doesn't mean that some won't be stuck in a tradition and a mindset at a level, at a glory stage, but a remnant won't be. They will go from glory to glory, not of any trained mindset. Even if they were walked through a system, he's going to remove you. At some point, there's going to be an upheaval or frustration or revelation or something's going to be exposed, and then it's going to make the divide. It's going to divide the wheat from the tares. The tares are those that are wheat, but they go astray. They're like deformed. So it doesn't mean that it's a lost and a saved. It's a saved and a saved, but who's going to go by the leading of the Spirit? See, when I say that, it's going to make you have to drop your pride for rules, or I will expose it, because I'm going to walk you to the limit even of what you think, God is in. You're going to think he only goes this far, he only moves this way, he only talks this way, he only uses this. No. If you really want to go deeper in him, let's expose the limits as you're ready. So there's so much he wants the believer and the Christian to go into the enemy's camp and take back and not be afraid of. Like, you're letting all these other people that want hidden knowledge and that want power, and they want to engage with angels, and they do, and they don't even know the Lord. And you're just giving it all up to them. And there's so much more. There's so much more he's not afraid of. You're just not ready for. Moses make the stick move, and he didn't even have to touch it. Or you can hold the stick, and the stick starts waving around like a snake. Like, do you know the power of God? So, things that are just supernatural. But then he wants to bring us to a balance where we can talk with just regular old folks that don't even understand any of this at all. And they're just happy, nice people that are not judgmental. And they're not judgmental like the church people. And they're just really nice people, and they're open. And I guess, they should be. And they don't know in some ways where they should be closed to some things. But he wants to give you a balance so that you can work with them, talk with them, have some of them work with you. But don't ever put those that can't tune into him on a higher level into any positions that hold control, because that's not what you want. Side note and a sidebar. But he'll use those people like steps and stairs and footstools. I could tell you that. So anyway, but the remnant, they may have went through systems and things that held them or trained them up somewhat, but you're going to outgrow, even by the desire to know more of God, to know more of. He's going to reveal himself more to you. You're going to wonder why everybody else around you doesn't hear him the same. and why they're not getting these healings and why they're not seeing these things and why they're not being led the same. And you're going to see where they settled. You're going to see why they don't hear him. You're going to see where they settled. You're going to see what they worship and they don't even know it. You're going to see that they still sit in their self-life. You're going to see why they're not open to his voice and visions of the Lord. But there's a people that are here and they have it. They won't fit collectives really, perhaps cultures fully, any agenda, maybe family, city, classes of finances. They just flow with and from him. This can be trusted to do new things, ideas, businesses, ministry types, because they don't look to old order or forms or fashions as a mold to duplicate. He will use what doesn't need to fit to fashion in the new. Some of you will be so hidden too in obscurity so that it repels even those that are looking for you to fit and be and do and have, certain things. And yet he's infilling you with riches that school can never give to you, college can never give to you, seminary can never give you. And then he's going to unveil you, heal your body, restore you, give you a time of harvest. You're not even going to look the same. And you're going to you're going to pour out the riches that's within you upon the people. And you're going to have more riches that are coming into your life because he can trust you. Because, if you fell on the rock, great. But if the rock falls on you and crumbles you, that's something else. You want to be someone who gives up their self-life in the time that he really shows you to give it up. If you went and you got your life and you got everything and now you're just finding the Lord, well, congratulations, you found the Lord. But what's going to happen is he's going to shake everything that can be shaken, and everything you prided yourself in, and even your beauty may be taken for a moment or a season or for some years. Even your style, your money, your house might come into a storm and a whirlwind, but when he's done, what should be formed should be the most beautiful person on the inside. Then he's going to fix your outside and he's going to restore you everything that was stolen, lost, or taken. And this is just part of the process. You got to go through a process. One of those scenarios might fit somebody there. And you're just like, I don't know what happened, but I found the Lord and then everything hit. Yeah, because he's about to take you to a different level. First, he wants to take you to different degrees within. Then he's going to take you to new heights without. So, so there's a remnant, back to the remnant, collectives. They won't fit collectives, perhaps cultures fully, any agenda, family maybe, a family's idea for your life. A way that they do things, and maybe you're not to do it that same way because he's given you a different perception, a different understanding. So when you get a different understanding and perception, you'll see through, you'll see where everybody else falls in different things in your city and different things. You're going to see through, and you won't fit all class of finances, their mindsets of every single class in your society. The remnant, they just flow with him and from him. This can be trusted to do new things. Like I said, ideas, he's going to give you businesses, he's going to give you ministry types. First, he may send you through someone's business and they run it in a foul way so that you get your aha moment and a good God idea so that you can do something different. And so he also makes sure you're not bought on any level here. You're not swayed on any level. You're not pushed or pulled by anyone on any level. I mean, you can't hate your exes. You can't hate your family. You have to let go of the fact that they can't take you where you're going. I mean, it wasn't revealed to them. He's going to take you where he's wanted to take you. You might have been a remnant that's been saved to be born out of your family in this time, so you just don't know. There's sometimes some families it's like that, where there's one that is really remnant and they will save their family. They will heal their family. They will, change the cycle, break cycles in their family. That's going to happen for some people in their family. I've seen that so many times. Maybe the grandma, the mom, the dad, and they're all messed up and they're the same. And then you could have been going down the same way, but he's going to use you to break the cycle so it won't come down on your kids. And so a remnant will be awakened and they will come out in the appointed time. If they don't awaken when he's trying to get them up and out, it's just going to whip their own butt. And you don't want that. Let me see. So then I say on my article, the remnant, they can't be bought on any level. And I said, are you one? A clue is you see through every system, yet you can be sent into it by the Lord. And you see through all pressures, but can go where he tells you. And you can see through all trained perceptions and mentalities of different classes, groupthink mentalities, even from the places that you've been born into. Has it all looked old since you came here? Has it all looked played out since you were born? Did you rebel in school, see through cliques? Are you solution-minded? Clues to a remnant, clues to who just wants to follow his spirit. He's about to use you. So, I hope that helped. I hope that challenged, maybe. I hope that if you do need to contact me, don't hesitate. I just can't answer people every day. Like if I prophesy or give some spiritual advice or counsel or encourage the hearts of God's people, anybody, whoever he sends to me, follow that nudge if he's leading you to contact me. If you wonder if there's a call in your life, if you wonder that if you're prophetic, if you wonder if you're a seer, if you wonder who your enemy is in the holdup on your progress, if you wonder who is a divine connection in your life or who's a counterfeit, if you wonder if you married a monster and not really your God-given mate, if you wonder if even the stubborn mate that God's giving to you is really from God because that person's acting up, and in fact it could be the person that God's sending to you, so you can't look at everything and size it up on the outside and by their actions all the time, because sometimes it's hidden for a time. If you wonder your connections next to you, if you wonder if you need to create space between somebody who's troubling your life, if you wonder where the arrows are coming from, if you wonder what your next step is, if you wonder what your giftings are, you can write to me. But I cannot give a counsel on demand all the time, because, time is money. But also, I can only, I understand when people are going through situations, and I'm like Jesus, when people are in the boat and it's rocking, I'm the one like kicking back in the boat, because he taught me how to kick back and not pull everybody down and pull on everybody. But I understand when you're in a storm and you just need a word. I understand when you're weary or you're confused and you just need a word, but I cannot provide on-demand free counsel every day. I don't wake up with other people's problems on my mind, but I will wash the feet of the junk you're walking through. I'll wash your feet off, which is the junk you're walking through, the crap you're walking through, the sharp things you're walking through, the weapons you're walking through. I can wash your feet off and restore you back to your praise, to restore you back to some clarity, to restore you back to where you can have some revelation. But I don't create codependence with my partners. I don't create codependence with any people on my team. I teach them how to walk on water without holding anybody. But when I discern that he's saying something for you, I'll come back to you and I'll say something. So I say that to say, you can get counsel from me. You can get free counsel. You can get a word of the Lord from me. But, and sometimes, I get something right away. Sometimes I just talk to you a little bit, and then just the connection, boom, the Lord just starts pouring stuff out for you through me, and I'll get to speak into people's lives, and it will change their season. Boom. Just like that. It'll send a storm to shake what shouldn't be, just like that, even sometimes first or right after you talk to me. That's going to happen because God's going to position you and shake what could not be staying with you for your next season and next capacity that he's trying to build into you. He's trying to make this well, so you have this capacity, but you got to get some things out, and I can help you to do that. And I can help you to let go of your past, as he even has taught me different things. so much junk I have walked through, and and when I'm on, I'm right on point with him. I'm right in my assignment, and then stuff comes out of nowhere, left and right, and I'm like, God, who is this for? Well, sometimes usually the storm, because I learned how to listen to him. Usually the storm is not for me, but the storm is for you. So that I walk through so I can get your answers. So if he pushes you to contact me and connect with me and ask for prayer or ask what you need to ask, then I will get back with you as soon as possible. And I'll probably have your answers that he made me walk through for you just a few weeks prior, because that's what the Lord usually does with me. So, especially with prophetic people or people that feel very hidden by him. You're provided for and you're very hidden, and you're provided for. Like, people just don't get this. Like, you got to work your butt off to get what you got. But no, God provides it for you, and he enriches you with wisdom. Or you're a prophet that's very hidden. You can help other people, but you don't got a word for yourself. And sometimes very hidden prophets, he'll let me connect with them because they're a remnant that's hidden, and can encourage them. So, I'm not like prophesying 24/7 kind of person. I'm down to earth, but, I'm balanced, but I'm also his. Um, and so if you would like to connect, go to www.facebook.com/Apostle Anna Clark. My name is spelled ANNACLARK. You should find a link when you go back to my video channel homepage. You should find some links if I forget to put them under this video right here. I do this for the love of God. I do this for the heart of the people. I do this for the heart of his people. And anybody who does not know him, I do this so that I can help you too. And maybe you'll come to know him, that he is real. I did flatline and died, and I met Jesus Christ at the age of 15 after an emergency C-section. But first I went to hell. So I just want you to know that it's real. Everybody doesn't get to come back. Everybody doesn't get to come back and tell how real it is. If a prophet comes back and urges you, or if a prophet urges you, would you believe? But I'm telling you, you should believe, because he's real. This is the one, Jesus, that has the answers to who is who all around you. This is the one that can tell you what's coming up around the corner. This is the one who can tell you why he made you, because you might be tired just working that job, going to that school, following a pattern of what they say you have to do, and you're saying there has to be more. This is the one that can tell you why he put that beat in your chest. This is the one that has given you breath and wants you to breathe a sigh of relief when you find that he's real, and when you find that he has your answers for you. This is the one that gives us new mercies every single day. If you woke up with another chance. This is for those with another chance. And this is for those that want to find their purpose. This is for those that want to grow in him. This is for those that want to hear his voice audible. Let me help you hear his voice audibly, but you have to let me walk with you and point out where the enemy's stealing your hearing and your sensing from the Holy Spirit, because the Holy Spirit wants to talk to you. God is not a killjoy, but he might walk you through a strict season. He's not a killjoy. He does not want to steal your fun. He doesn't want to put a damper on your life. He doesn't want to make you feel like you have no fun, no outlet, no creativity, no love, no fun in your life, no dancing, and no joy. He doesn't want to stop all that, but he does first want to get some things cleaned up, help you unlearn some stuff, input some wisdom, and take you to another level, another degree, another place. He'll walk you into places you never thought that you would get into. You may be the first in your neighborhood. You may be the first in your family. You may be the first in your household, but he wants to take you to new levels. And he will use anybody. He will use the weak things of the world to confound the wise. So congratulations if you feel like you're an outcast, if you feel like you don't fit in, if you feel like you're the odd man out, if you feel like you're on the outside looking in. Congratulations if you feel like you're weak. Congratulations if you feel like you have a habit, even an addiction, even something that you can't stop doing, even you don't trust yourself. Congratulations if you found him even, and if you're weak, because he will take you and make you confound those who always look like they had it together. He will take you to another level and make you surpass everybody that said you couldn't do it. He will rewrite a new story right where you are in the middle of your life. This is who I serve, and you can know him today. His name is Jesus Christ. I flatlined, I died, I met him, and you can know him today. If you need encouragement, if you need confirmation, if you want to hear what the Lord's saying, if you usually can hear what the Lord's saying, but you just can't hear him for you, let me help you find where the enemy is hiding and he's stopping us from hearing our Maker. I can't wake up and not hear my Maker. How can I wake up and not hear my Maker? How can you want to wake up and not hear your Maker? I don't want to get up and do nobody's agenda. I surely don't wake up for no dollar. Nothing runs me around anywhere. Nobody can own me and they can't tell me what to do. And you know what? I don't even want to get up and tell myself what to do, but I don't want to wake up and not hear my Maker. How can you live without the voice of your Father? How can you live without the voice of your Father? So let me help you so you can come into more alignment with what God's bringing you to, what he made you for, and all the pieces of your puzzle. You're going to find it comes out of the woodwork and it comes into place as you get into alignment and as you get into order. Maybe drop off some people that are leeches on your life and drain the energy out of you. Let me identify your enemies. Let me identify your copycats and your secret haters and your frenemies. Let me identify the witches in your life. Let me identify the bewitchment in your life. Let me identify where they're controlling, who has pride for they're a source for your income, who wants to help you but they're really the enemy and their gifts are tainted. So let me help you identify. And every mental illness can be healed by God. Every mental illness and trauma and every point of trauma can be healed by him. Whoever you are, whatever you're walking through, whatever you look like, whatever it looks like, it's all redeemable. It's all redeemable through Christ. And I'm telling you the truth. Every barren life, every barren area, every barren tree can live. Every barren family tree can live. I've seen it, and God can make you and raise you up. But first, he may take you down. First, he may take you down. First, he may take you down. Can you yield to him? And that's the question. You know, he gives and he takes away. And I said that before. If you can endure when he gives, and oh, we're so excited when he gives it. But then when God says, put it down, you can't touch it, don't talk to them, walk away, create a barrier, create a wall, because maybe they're taking you for granted, or maybe you're loving it more than your excitement and your worship in God. And sometimes God just wants to remove the clutter. It's a good thing, but he wants to remove it sometimes for a time. As surely as he moves you away from it and you hear that, he may surely send you back to it or them back to you. So don't lose heart. Remember to keep your praise. Remember to keep your song. Remember to keep your eyes on him. You know, remember to keep your eyes on him, and he'll walk you through anything you're in right now. He'll walk you through it. You cannot wake up and think on anybody else or anything else first thing in the morning more than him. You can't. And if you do, don't call me, because I'm not going to take that baggage. I'm not going to take it, because I wake up and I hear him. I got to hear my Maker in the morning. I have to hear him in the morning. So this is just a message for the people. I hope it confirms. I hope it challenges. I hope you don't hesitate to connect with me. But I just cannot do one-on-one counseling and encouragement to the same person every day of the week. I can't do it a few days a week, but as he tells me to, I'll reconnect with you, because I'm going to do what he tells me to do, ultimately, always. because Anna Clark always gets where she's going, and she's always going to do what he says to do ultimately. I love everybody. I love everybody, but I want you to get to your purpose as I'm going to mine. I don't care the warfare we're walking through. We will get there together. So anyway, thank you. www.facebook.com/Apostle Anna Clark. I'm a prophet, seer, mystic, and I'm not of anybody's rules or molds. I'm just a free agent. I'm a breakthrough agent, and I just love God. That's it. Bye.